នេះប្រជាជនខ្មែរនៅទីក្រុងវិននៅតំបន់ផ្សេងៗនៃទៅពីមហាកម្មជាមួយនឹងទីជនភូមិដើម្បីប្រឆាំងនឹងការធ្វើរដ្ឋប្រហាររបស់អំណាចយោធានៅក្នុងទីភូមិដូចនេះសហគមន៍ខ្មែរនៅទីនេះដូច្នេះគឺនេះគឺជាផាលីម៉ង់របស់ប្រទេសញូហ្សេឡង់ដែលនៅទីក្រុង Wellington នេះគឺជាបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងចូលរួមជាមួយនឹងប្រជាពលរដ្ឋភូមិដើម្បីប្រឆាំងនឹងអំពើផ្ដាច់ការយោធាភូមិ
ကျွန်တော်ခဏဒီမီနီစတာစောင့်နေတော့ပါပြောပြရတာပါဘလို့နေအောင်သူ့ချိန်နဲ့တူလာမယ်ကျေးဇူးပြုပြီးတော့သူမီနီစတာခဏစောင့်နေတော့လေ
Kia ora, thank you everyone for coming along. Thank you for all the many and multifaceted parts of the Myanmar community from all over the country. Can you hear me? Is that better? Fantastic. Thank you all for coming along to show solidarity with the people of Myanmar. Last week, I'm Ben Peterson, I'm from Unions Wellington, and we're part of the union movement here in New Zealand. And in the last couple of weeks we've been really concerned to see the events and unfolding military coup in Myanmar. A lot of unions here in New Zealand have links with our brother and sister workers in Myanmar, and we've been really concerned to see attack on democracy. So when last week members of the Myanmar communities here in Wellington got in touch with us and asked us to help support doing a rally, we were absolutely honoured to be asked and proud to be here to stand with you. And the first thing that I just want to say, if I can go off the script a little bit, is to say on behalf of the union movement and all the progressive people in New Zealand, that we stand with you, to the community here and to everyone in Myanmar, all of the working people in Myanmar and all the people in Myanmar who are fighting for democracy now. You're not alone, you have friends in the union movement, the progressive movement, and all the democratic people of the world are watching you now. Don't feel alone, we're here to support you. I hope you feel that tonight. Thank you. We do have some guests from inside this big house who are going to come down and say a few things and hear from us shortly. And we also have a statement that the community here has drafted that they'll say when they get here. But I did also want to thank, I know a lot of the community has come from all over the country. I believe there's people here from Auckland. Yeah? And from Hamilton. From from Palmy, from Porirua, that's my hometown, so in a neighbourhood now, so good to see. Nelson, the rest of Wellington that's not Porirua, from Canterbury and Christchurch, anywhere else? Oh, from everywhere. I think that the good vibes are coming from everywhere. Okay. So, they're coming down now. Do you want to say some chants now? This is Crystalline, who's been doing a lot of work organising this, so I'll just ask you to welcome Crystalline for a second.
Minglawa! Hello, Minglawa! Jesus Tamare, Kulonyo, Maare Jare Ma, yet we got it in my Wellington, the Gudaga Labi Jare, Auckland, Hamilton, Palmerston North, Nelson, Christchurch, the Udiao Chisi Diaboma, Wellington Ozado Logal, New Zealand Yaude, Yama Pita, Alo Adre, a young Jesu Timbare, Lo Tamane, Yoja Tamare, Dini, tomorrow Diniama, Yaula Chini, tomorrow Nenga. Democracy, Yana Puya Tatani, tomorrow Dinayama, Yauda Pipare. Bajale Suro, tomorrow Amimiha, tomorrow Nangamabe, tomorrow Dinayama Nidolabe, tomorrow Ye Tuiha, Amimia, Tui Pipare, Lotumani Nebiochene, Suro Dine, tomorrow Assisi Lady, Sweatare. Ministry Labiros Gabiola Balene, Arika Jaloshi, tomorrow New Zealand Aku, Sana Topora, tomorrow protest Lota Hopo, tomorrow Ale, New Zealand Hopare, no, Eri Dre, tomorrow ye, Leshi, Asoya go, Aku Ani down up today, no, Tamamima, Yochimare, tomorrow. Akuni down at Tima, tomorrow, Juju the Dine, Kankang Mumbe, tomorrow, down my Pipare, Eri Dre, Kanani Jaloshi, Jamanine, Alon Goza, statement, Jama Papa Me, Below Shile, Ministry, Yapi Solution, the Rogo, Saga, Making Saga Biobo, tomorrow a chain Pira Bare, MPD La Biova Me. Below Shile, a Yeji Popo Diale, no Kunsaga, Yola Balene, below She, tomorrow, group song, so me a chain lady Shide, assistant to Kobe to Kushide at your Jamlo, tomorrow MC Pide, Ben and Ine, Usiu Sambi, loaded at Hama, the Kuchin Si Diapoma, Ganga Mone, Lina Pipoya at Jama and Ine, a new down by Chimare, Lopio Chimare. Young Sitango, Jesu, Amyai Teshivare, Lo, Wellington Kusa Dologao, New Zealand Nimakita, Alon Kusa Dologao, Talang Bima, Jesu Tinjam, Joja Lubare. I just would like to say, on behalf of the Myanmar New Zealand community, to everyone here, for your time to come to support us and to support democracy in Myanmar. Today, we all are here because we support human rights and we love the country of Myanmar who fought for democracy and freedom for many years. So today, we would have a speaker from Minister and we would have, along with we have other activity. So we would like to ask everyone to follow us when we ask you to do. Because we all are here, we are New Zealander. Even though we come from Myanmar, but we are citizens in New Zealand. We are just asking for help to the New Zealand government and to all of you as well to increase, to promote awareness of what is happening in current situations in Myanmar. So thank you and thank you to every one of you.
Bỏ chẳng ok chả hoặc bán này điện bằng thọt chả
rồi đi cắn của nhung thọt đi độ lại ở của nhung thọt
ế thọt đây ở bàn chân ở ngay thì nó bàn mình được chả
Hello.
យកឲ្យជាប់គ្នាយើងអស់ថយឲ្យឆ្ងាយតិចយកឲ្យជាប់ឲ្យអស់បងយើងអស់ហើយបាទយកមកស្លាប់ឲ្យជាប់អស់
ကျွန်တော်ဟင်မင်တန်ပြောလာတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်အခုမကြာမီအချိန်တွင်းမှာ
ទាំងយើងទាំងគេផង
ဝန်ကြီးများအရေးကြီးတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်များကြွရောက်တော့မယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့သိရပါတယ်ဒါကြောင့်မို့လို့ကျေးဇူးကြီးတွေဒီသက်စွာဖြင့်ဆောင်စားပေးပါလို့ကျွန်တော်အနေနဲ့လည်းမေတ္တာရပ်ခံပါတယ် Kia ora koutou to all the ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for gathering our Burmese people and community, especially the democratic transition in Burma. My name is Saul. I came from Hamilton just while Crystal Ling is busy with something else. I just want to say that we have been informed that some ministers and some key person will arrive here shortly. And therefore, I would like to ask a favor of you to keep quiet at the moment, but sooner or later, you know that we will shout quite nicely, eh? Thank you very much indeed.
Good job. នេះគឺប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរយើងនៅប្រទេសញូហ្សេឡង់បានចូលរួមជាមួយនឹងប្រជាជនភូមាប្រឆាំងនឹងការធ្វើរដ្ឋប្រហារយោធានៅប្រទេសភូមាដូច្នេះគឺជាកម្លាំងសាមគ្គីរបស់ប្រជាពលរដ្ឋភូមាហើយនិងប្រជាពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរនៅប្រទេសញូហ្សេឡង់ដើម្បីរដ្ឋប្រជាធិបតេយ្យដូច្នេះគឺជាការដែលឲ្យបងប្អូនយើងបានដឹងថានៅក្រៅប្រទេសគឺគេមានសេរីភាពគ្រប់បែបយ៉ាងក្នុងការ
From far and near, especially from those who come from Auckland, Hamilton, Palmerston North, and Nelson, and everyone from the whole Wellington region to join us. We all are here very appreciative to the minister and the politicians for your participation here, because only you can help us to raise our awareness to the government and to the International UN Security Committee. I'm going to read a statement. All of us have gathered here to condemn the coup of Thammador military in Myanmar on the 1st February 2021. This coup is a violation of Myanmar constitution. It is an attempt by the military to overcome the democratic will of the people, the Myanmar people, expressed in the November 2020 general election. The people of Myanmar for decades fought the right to vote, to elect their leaders, and to express their opinion freely. Some of us here in New Zealand, part of those generations who sacrificed so much for the dream of democracy. We cannot let it be taken away again. We call for the immediate release of President U Win Myint, the State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi, legislators, civil leaders, and other political detainees. We call for the military to return to the barracks and for the democratically elected parliament to be restored. There is no justification for this coup. Allegations of election fraud, fear for safety and future of our friends and family in Myanmar. Daily, we heard this story of despair at the actions of the military. However, we are heartened by the brave actions of many in the civil disobedient movement. Men and women in the mines, hospital, airports, factory, and school are refusing to work for the military. Despite internet blackouts, people are taking to the street in tens of thousands. Day and night, the streets are loud with the sound of family bang pots and pans together in defense. The whole country is united in this movement to protect democracy. The people of Myanmar have shown they rejected this coup. We here in Aotearoa rejected too. Our rally here today at Parliament is to show them our solidarity and support their peaceful protests. We call on the New Zealand government to do the same. The New Zealand government can be a friend to the people in Myanmar in this very difficult time. New Zealand can condemn in the strongest possible language and action this military coup. New Zealand can use its diplomatic platforms to be a leading voice for Myanmar democracy. New Zealand needs to be a voice calling on the world superpower to put aside geopolitical concerns and unite to protect democracy and the people of Myanmar. We must ensure the UN and UN Security Council members take action to ensure that the protesters are not shot and killed by the military, and that all leaders and political prisoners are released. For the Myanmar community in New Zealand, this is our home now. For a lot of us from refugee backgrounds coming to New Zealand has saved our life. But we are deeply concerned and fearful for our family at home. We will do anything we can to help our family, friends, and loved ones in Myanmar. Please help support us and our family. Thank you.
nông lúa cho nó nè cái những xe mấy giờ xe vẫn
tụi dơ mình tích múc đi
nước đó tôi lá bên nước cho nhiều cho tới nâng nè
We want
hả? Có được trẻ tôi tin.
Thank you. We go on to the next agenda.
Hello.
So now we would like to invite the minister to speak to us.
Hinga mana inga reo inga karanga tanga mahatina koutou mingalaba. Here in New Zealand we understand just how important our democratic principles are and what it means to belong to society, to an inclusive society. So on behalf of the government, this is the statement that I've prepared. Aotearoa is deeply concerned by the military coup in Myanmar. We do not recognise the legitimacy of the military government. We have been a long-standing supporter of Myanmar's democratic transition and the rule of law. The people of Myanmar have invested in their democracy over the past decade, holding not one but two multi-party general elections. The democratic will of the people of Myanmar expressed through these two elections must be respected, not eliminated by a military that has launched another coup. We call for the immediate release of political leaders detained by the military and a rapid and peaceful return to civilian rule. And we welcome the statements of the G7 and the United Nations Security Council condemning the coup. New Zealand has joined other countries calling for a special session at the United Nations Human Rights Council to raise our concerns regarding the military coup and the impact on human rights. Due to the events, I have asked officials to review New Zealand's engagement settings with Myanmar. As a result of this, today I announce we have suspended high-level political and defence engagement with Myanmar. I have also directed New Zealand's aid program to Myanmar that it should deliver no projects that benefit any military or military-linked entities or individuals in any way. In fact, it should focus on civil society and those projects which build our democratic principles and humanitarian interests. We have also agreed to implement a travel ban on Myanmar's military leaders. This ban will be formalised in the coming week. Indeed, your presence here today shows that this is a sad occasion for many people around the world, many people of Myanmar, the region, and those who uphold our democratic principles. So I join with my colleagues here today to acknowledge your work, your advocacy. The international community, in my mind, must work together to encourage Myanmar to return to civilian rule and the democratic principles which we all believe will build a just and fair society. Nō reira, e hara taku toa he toa takitahi, he toa takitini, and in the words of our ancestors, our strength is not of that as individuals, but as us collectively standing together. Tēnā tātou katoa.
Kia ora, Minister Nanai Mahuta. Thank you for making yourself available to speak to us today, which has shown us support and reassurance that our New Zealand government will be taking action to pressure the military known as Tamadol to end this coup for democracy and peace in Myanmar. We believe that you will take the actions, not just only a written statement, because you are our parents now. And we are worried for the remaining family of Myanmar, Kiwi, and back home in Myanmar. Kia ora. Thank you very much. So now we invite everyone, if you bring pots of paint, to make a noise to support the people in Myanmar that we are with them. All right, now we are, we are going to invite Melissa from New Zealand Council of Trade Unions, right, to speak to us. Let's welcome you.
Tēnā koutou katoa and Mingalaba. I'm proud to be here today to share the solidarity of the New Zealand Union movement with the people of Myanmar in their fight for democracy. Since the 1988 democracy uprising, we've had a long and deep connection with the Myanmar trade unions, supporting them through the following decades of exile and helping to keep the flame of democracy alive. Just over 5 years ago, we rejoiced at the democratic elections in Myanmar. And last week, we were shocked and angered by the military coup that has snatched that progress away. In recent days, though, our hopes have been lifted by the growing civil disobedience movement, from nurses and doctors refusing to work for the military and instead providing care for free from their homes, to teachers striking and factory workers marching. The working people of Myanmar have shown that they reject this coup. A recent message received from our friends at the Confederated Trade Unions of Myanmar makes it clear just what is at stake for working people. They said, under the military regime, workers lost the right to freedom of union organisation. They lost so many job opportunities. We had forced labour. Farmers' land had been confiscated by force, and we had one of the highest rates of child soldiers. To date, we continue to face problems caused by the consequences of the past. Since we have already experienced these devastating conditions, we, the CTUM, will not cooperate with the new military-installed leaders. It is a brave stand and we support them. I also want to echo the call of our International Trade Union Confederation for sanctions to be targeted at the military leaders and their business interests. All governments need to trace supply chains of military-run companies to ensure full and complete application of these sanctions. International companies should provide support to workers where operations are curtailed and give support and protection to workers protesting the coup. We in the New Zealand Union Movement stand in solidarity with you and with everyone in Myanmar taking peaceful action to reject the military takeover. Kia kaha, Myanmar.
Thank you, Melissa, for giving your time to show support to us. And now we're going to invite one of the Labour MP, Rachel Boyd, to come and speak to us.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa, mingalaba. Can I begin just by acknowledging my friend Crystalline? Crystalline has been a friend of mine for a number of years, and I want to acknowledge that there are some members of the Myanmar community from the electorate that I serve, Nelson, here today. Nelson is a refugee resettlement centre, and we have over 600 members of the Myanmar community living in my electorate, and you're an important part of our community, and I want to acknowledge all of you. The PM commented that she is devastated by the coup in Myanmar. For me personally, I am deeply saddened at the events that have taken place in Myanmar in the last few days. I have had the privilege of visiting Myanmar when I was working for First Union, who have helped organise today's demonstration. And I stayed in a hotel that looked out over the lake, near where Aung San Suu Kyi has her home. When I visited Myanmar, I was overcome by how safe I felt and how peaceful it was. I visited the Shwedagon Pagoda. I visited your sacred places. And I feel deep sadness that so much progress has now taken such a big step backwards. I want to acknowledge the statement from our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Nanaia Mahuta, and acknowledge all of my parliamentary colleagues from the Labour Party, from the Green Party, from the National Party. We are very privileged in this country to be able to participate in our democracy in this way. And what saddens me so much is that we had made so many great steps in Myanmar and just elected a democratically elected parliament that was not able to take their oaths of office like we did last year. And that saddens me deeply. When I was in Myanmar, I met with members of the Anglican community. I am an Anglican, I have a Christian faith, and I know many of our former refugees here in New Zealand. Some of you are Buddhist, I know that some of you are Christian, and that for members of our Christian community, our Chin members in Myanmar often face extra layers of persecution, and I want to acknowledge that. I know that many of you will be feeling incredibly worried and scared for your family, for your whānau. I want to note that we have 71 New Zealand nationals living in Myanmar, and our embassy is working to ensure their safety. And I know many members of you will be worried about members of your family who you are also trying to bring to New Zealand. I just want to acknowledge that must be incredibly distressing. I will continue to pray and to hope and to work alongside all of you for genuine peace and democracy in Myanmar. I thank you for coming along today, and thank you again to Crystalline and all of the organisers, and especially my comrades from the union movement for supporting today's demonstration. Kia kaha, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Thank you very much to Rachel Boyd for your support and making yourself available to come and speak to us. So now we are going to invite the Reverend Binku Ashi Visua from Hamilton to come and speak to us. So he will be speaking about the unity among all regions to end all religion, to end this coup. And no religion should be governed by the military dictatorship.